Testing the audio. Audio testing. Wonderful.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stephanie Ashton, Media Relations Officer for the Integrated Homicide Investigation Team. I'd like to thank you all for coming today. And I'd like to start by introducing the two speakers who will update you on this investigation. Speaking first will be Superintendent Dwayne McDonald, Officer in charge of the Integrated Homicide Investigation Team. He'll be followed by Chief Superintendent Kevin Hackett, Officer in charge of the Combined Forces Special Enforcement Unit, BC. Please hold your questions until the end of their statements, at which point you may ask questions by stating your name and who you wish to direct your question to. Thank you. Superintendent McDonald.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Superintendent Dwayne McDonald, and I'm the officer in charge of the Integrated Homicide Investigation Team. On January 22nd, 2016, IHIT investigators working in partnership with CFSEU BC, Calgary Police Service, and RCMP Support Services effected 13 search warrants throughout the Lower Mainland of British Columbia and Calgary, Alberta. 2 men who are believed to be UN gang members have been arrested without incident and are currently in custody in connection to the homicides of Kevin Leclerc and Jonathan Barber. After a tireless and extensive police operation, charges of conspiracy to commit murder have been approved against 32-year-old Vancouver resident Troy Tran and a 31-year-old man who, on the advice of Crown Counsel, is not currently being identified at this time in order to preserve the integrity of a future court proceeding. The complexity of these investigations can mean years of work for both homicide investigators and our CFSEU BC partners, who specialize in the interdiction of gang crime. The tenacity shown by all assisting agencies highlights our commitment to the public safety and our commitment to holding accountable those who engage in violent crime. I would be remiss if I did not thank all of the investigators involved from each contributing agency: IHIT, CFSEU BC, the RCMP Lower Mainland District, the Calgary Police Service, and E-Division Support Services. Your efforts and personal sacrifices have not gone unnoticed, and the success of this operation rests with all of you. I would also like to thank the Vancouver City Police Department for their assistance in the arrests that took place on Friday. These homicides create a lasting effect on our communities that does not diminish with time. For this reason, police will continue to collectively work together to create effective joint forces operations in order to bring to justice those who flagrantly and continually put lives at risk. To that end, IHIT would like to take this opportunity to remind the public that a Canada-wide warrant remains in effect for 33-year-old Connor DeMonte, pictured here. Connor DeMonte is the alleged leader of the UN gang and is charged with conspiracy to commit murder of the Bacon brothers and their associates, and first-degree murder in the connection with the homicide of Kevin Leclerc. If you have information on the whereabouts of Connor DeMonte, contact the IHIT information line by calling 1-877-551-IHIT. That's 1-877-551-4448 or Crime Stoppers. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Hackett. I'm the Chief Officer of the Combined Forces Special Enforcement Unit of British Columbia. There was a rise in gang violence in 2007. United Nations gang members conspired to kill the Bacons and their associates, and the following years of 2008 and 2009 saw an all-out gang war in the Lower Mainland of British Columbia. Much of the violence culminated with brazen public executions, shootings, and subsequent retaliations. Although several years have passed since the peak of the violence, coordinated and collaborative efforts by dedicated investigative teams have been continuing to work toward bringing those responsible to justice. In addition to the increased cooperation and information sharing that presently exists between law enforcement partners, investigative techniques and practices continues to evolve. New and improved methods assist with the challenges of targeting and charging sophisticated criminals. These 2 most recent charges and other arrests are an example of this. In addition, these results should send a clear message to those who have and continue to put the public at risk through violent gang activity. This message is that we, along with our partners, will be relentless in our pursuit of those that pose the greatest risk to public safety, and that the passage of time should not provide them or their associates with comfort or confidence that they have avoided detection, and we will continue to make every effort possible to hold them accountable. Thank you. I, like Superintendent Dwayne McDonald, would also like to thank all the efforts of the investigative members as well as the investigative teams supplied by the partners. Thank you very much.
Well, can you tell us about the victims? I'm sorry, I didn't grab Kevin
Leclerc.
Can you spell the names of the victims?
Yeah, Kevin Leclerc. Kevin, common spelling, Leclerc, Leclair.
And Jonathan,
Barber, Barber.
what can you tell us about their murders when they occurred?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
What can you tell us about the victims? When were they killed? Were they also associated?
I won't speak to the nature of the victims at this time, but Jonathan Barber was killed in 2008, and Kevin Leclerc was killed in 2009.
What can you tell us anything about the circumstances of the murder?
If you recall, Kevin Leclerc was involved. He was the victim of a shooting in Langley at, I believe it was the supermarket parking lot, and Jonathan Barber was the victim of a gunshot wounds in Burnaby, British Columbia.
How difficult are these cases? It's been several years, so talk about the difficulty of solving cases like this.
Well, they are very complex investigations to begin with, because we're usually dealing with individuals who, if our suspects in this matter, are engaged in a criminal lifestyle. They're criminally sophisticated. They employ methods of counter-detection. They're familiar with police techniques. And so it becomes quite problematic in terms of opening our investigative toolbox to gather evidence against them. In addition, there's a culture in the gang lifestyle where people are reluctant to come forward to speak with police. We've made significant headway in the last several years in encouraging and assisting people in coming forward as witnesses, not only as witnesses, members of the public, but also witnesses that are also involved in the lifestyle that need to get out. And our simple message is that that gang lifestyle really ends in only one of two ways: jail or death. And we, the police, would like to offer an alternative to that. We can keep our witnesses safe. We can ensure that the court process and the rules of evidence are met, and that people who commit violent crimes are punished and go to jail. They have been charged. Conspiracy to commit in the case of the Bacon brothers and their associates, and first degree with respect to Kevin Leclerc. Oh, yes, sorry. First degree, yes. Well, I'll let Kevin speak to the gang violence and the gang activity.
We heard a lot about them a lot of years ago. Can you talk about now? Are they still active on the scene?
Most criminal organizations, whether it's the UN gang or others, continue to evolve and morph. I think our collaborative efforts by law enforcement in the Lower Mainland, as well as our partners, has done much to force them to regroup, to morph, and to change and to adapt. So although the current look and feel of the UN from the past no longer exists in the manner in which we knew them in the past, they're still there and lurking behind the scenes.